The item is the roll call.
Randall Bohannon.
Here.
Rich Shine.
Here.
Tim Middleton.
Here.
Karen Isberg. Here. Chad Wells.
Here.
Chris Sharp.
Here.
Whitney Stepp. Here. Doug Pearl.
Here.
Floyd Green.
Here.
We're fortunate to have a new planning commissioner tonight. Karen Isberg is the new, Dr. Ness, is that right?
You did.
Okay, is the appointee from the Woodford County Fiscal Court due to Patty Perry's retirement. I want to give her a warm welcome to the commission tonight. Thank you. Mr. Hunter, will she be sworn in at this time? Oh, okay, okay.
I already swore I wouldn't do anything.
Okay, okay.
You want her, that's the last applause she's ever going to get.
No, I didn't. I just figured it was no judicial notice, if you will. Everyone should have had the minutes from the December 11th, 2025 meeting. You should have had those minutes in your packet. Everyone should have had a chance to review those. Any concerns or anyone prepared to take action on the minutes from the December 11th meeting?
Move adoption.
We have a motion to adopt those minutes and accept them.
Second.
We have a second. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion to adopt the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? I'll be sure to. Yes. The next item is the audit presentation. We have Mr. Chad Robinson from the accounting firm. Is it Kerbal Rhodes and Butler? Kerbal Rhodes and Butler. Kerbal Rhodes and Butler. Thank you, Mr. Robinson. See your comments on the audit that was conducted.
Thank you. First off, I just want to thank Steve and Kim for their help during the audit. They're very, very helpful getting information, answering questions to make it a smooth process. I'll be brief in my comments. I'll kind of go through some basic points and then just kind of give you a rundown of what the statements look like. I'll start on page 1, which is the audit opinion. Right there in those first 2 paragraphs is the opinion. That second paragraph is where the actual opinion is, and it says that your financial statements are materially correct. It's an unmodified opinion. That's the opinion that you are shooting for. One item to note, midway down on that first page, the change in accounting principle. That is the result of a new standard, GASB statement number 101, related to compensated absences. And really the only change in that statement relates to how sick time and compensatory time would be treated. So that's the change. Vacation time is treated, there's no difference in the treatment there, and I'll explain that here in just a minute or two. The rest of the letter is kind of boilerplate language. It goes through management responsibilities, our responsibilities as auditors, and then a reference to supplementary information that's in the back, and I'll go through that in a couple minutes, and then a reference to the report on internal control, which is in the back, and I'll go through that in a couple minutes as well. The next page is on page 4. This is the statement of net position, which is your balance sheet. A couple quick highlights there. About a quarter of the page down, your total assets ended the year at $178,300. The bulk of that, almost $139,000, is in cash. You'll also notice a couple line items that are to point out. The net pension liability, about midway down, $532,377. That is your proportionate share of the net pension liability in the county retirement system plan. So that is not something that you're going to get a bill for. Those liabilities are what's called current funded, which means you pay the percentage that the actuaries determine each year throughout the year, and that's to fund the liability long term. So you're not going to get a bill for that number. I just want to make sure that you're clear on that. Your total net position ended at a negative $535,894. That's your equity position. That's almost all related to that pension liability. Page 5 is the statement of revenues, expenses, and changes in net position. That's your income statement. Towards the bottom, you'll see your change in net position, or your net income or loss for the year was a negative $23,151. The main driver in that is revenue was down almost $107,000. That's a 20% decrease in the city of Versailles and Woodford County contributions, as well as fee revenue was down about 10% as well. You also see down at the bottom the change in accounting principle resulted in a reduction of your equity position from the beginning of the year of almost $6,000. So that's how that change in accounting principle flowed through for prior year balances. Page 6 is your statement of cash flows. The only item I really want to point out there is about middle through the page, the decrease in the cash of almost $113,000, primarily related to a reduction in those revenues that I mentioned before, related to the decrease in the contributions from the city and the county and the fee revenue. The next section on page 7, and it goes on for several pages, is the footnotes to the financial statements. These will go in more detail about specific balances on the statements, your capital assets, your pension liabilities, and so on and so forth. There's about 3 or 4 pages worth of the pension and OPEB. OPEB is the health insurance portion of the pension liability, so that's what we're referring to when we say OPEB. There's no specific points I wanted to point out in the footnotes. Skipping over to page 18, the next 4 pages, 18, 19, 20, 21, these are required supplementary information related to the pension and OPEB liabilities. Basically what these are is to give you historical trends, so you could look back and see how those liabilities have changed and your proportionate share and how that's changed over the course of the years since the standard's been in place. When 10 years have been in place, this schedule will show 10 years worth of data. The next section to point out, page 24, this is your budget to actual comparison, and you'll see on there that your budget was pretty much in line for several items, but the big differences were budgeted revenues were down. That's mostly in the fee revenue, which I think you're pretty conservative in budgeting those. And then on the operating expenses, you were under budget by almost $95,000, so you came in well under budget in that, so that's a good thing. Next section, page 25, this is the internal control or financial reporting. So if we come across internal control deficiencies, this is where they get reported. And you'll see those reported on page 27. There's 3 of them. Two of them have been recurring, related to essentially staffing, small staff. The first one is the ability to prepare financial statements. Because we as auditors prepare the financial statements, this comment has to go in there, basically saying that these are your statements and we prepared them, and so that you have to be able to prepare them, so that's why that's in there. The second one's lack of segregation of duties. Just the small staff, it's really hard to segregate duties completely, so this is a recurring item, and we just recommend that you as the commission oversee the financial statements, ask questions, and make sure that you're paying attention to those items. The last one is a new item, and it relates to the change in the compensatory time policy, or comp time. That policy changed in November 23, and basically it went away at that point in time, and under the policy it was grandfathered in that you could use it, but basically what's happening is it's still being accrued, and so we recommend to follow the policy, and any hours over 40 that are worked in a week, to pay overtime on those. So I'd be glad to answer any questions, but that's all I've got, unless you've got questions.
Any commission members have questions of Mr. Robinson with regard to the audit? If not, I think the proper course of action, if anyone wants to take action on this, we have to formally accept the audit. If anyone wants to make that motion.
I move that we formally accept the audit with thanks.
Second.
We have a motion to accept the audit. Second, any discussion? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The next item, next item on the agenda, says non-public hearing items, but Mr. Hunter, we don't have anything with regard to that category. The next item, we're on G of the agenda. This is the public hearing item from last meeting. This was tabled from the last meeting. This is the application from Vision Engineering LLC to rezone the 9.67 acres of the tract on, of the tract containing 22.5 acres at 1470 Troy Pike from A1 to R1C. So from a procedural standpoint, my recollection serves me, we tabled this. There was a motion that carried that tabled this from the December meeting to this meeting. So anyone want to take action as far as untabling the issue? I think we have to have a motion to untable it at this point.
Mr. Chairman, this is Chris Sharp. I'll need to recuse myself from this hearing due to the fact that I recused from the last meeting as well.
Noted. Anyone prepared to take action on this item tonight?
Just bring it back up and read.
I think that'd be the first course of action.
Okay, I'll move to open it up for action, but not for further testimony.
Second motion.
We have a motion to untable this item. Have a second. Any discussion? All in favor of untabling this issue, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
And Mr. Chair, I just want to note for the record that after conversation with Commissioner Isberg, she was appointed on December 9th. Our hearing was on December 11th. She had the chance to observe that hearing, so she's able to participate tonight as a deliberating member.
So at this point, there's a multitude of things we could do, it's my understanding. There is the question of whether or not we want to reopen the public hearing. At this point, the public hearing is closed. Anyone want to take any action with regard to reopening the public hearing? Anybody want to take action on this item without reopening the public hearing?
Oh, yes.
Sorry, it may have not been the most clear.
I want to take action to not open the public meeting. I think we've heard plenty on this issue.
No further action is required for
No further
that.
action is required, yes. Thank you.
Anyone prepared to take action on the item?
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to deny this proposed zoning amendment, map amendment. Based on the testimony and the documents presented in this public hearing, proposed zoning map amendment is not consistent with the adopted comprehensive plan as demonstrated by its non-compliance with the following items. Is not consistent with the adopted goals and objectives, is not consistent with the area-wide and land use policies. Is there anything else I need to add?
Commissioner Isberg, the commission knows I provided findings to the commission both ways that they could adopt, and in the findings I've laid out specific areas of concern that were raised during the hearing that would support an action or a recommendation of denial. So if you wanted to adopt those findings of denial into your motion, you could do that this time. And I'll just briefly say that they mention objections raised at the hearing about traffic concerns on Troy Pike. the significant number of existing approved new lots already in Versailles and Woodford County, which would satisfy any need to build new housing, as well as other goals and objectives. And those have been distributed to the commission and also to the applicant.
Should we also just incorporate any testimony or any written materials that have come out in the public hearings?
The record will, I believe, will be forwarded to the city council, but yes, adopt the record and adopt these findings if you so choose. That would be the next step.
Yes, I so choose to do that.
We have a motion on the table. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion to deny this application. We have a second. Any discussion? You know, I went back and forth on this issue since the last, and the resident concerns that were put forward with regard to traffic, that's not deniable. If anyone doesn't know, I live over in Adena, and turning left is absolute. It's rather scary now, especially with the new high school. On the other side of that, this area is surrounded essentially by residential property. And 22 and a half acres with regard to A1, I question what type of farming operation could go in there other than the business that's in there now. And so there was a lot that came down both ways on this. And but we heard a lot from the community. A lot of people had problems with this proposed rezoning change, but I was conflicted about it. Those are my thoughts. Traffic is a problem. There needs to be more traffic controls, but in an area that's already surrounded by residential, I went back and forth internally on this since before the last meeting. Anyone got any other comments?
I have a comment. Like you, I went over this over the past month, back and forth. And I just come to the point that I don't think there's enough R1C building. I think it's important that we have building, but is it the building that everybody needs? That everybody, even a new home starter, new house starter will benefit from? And I'm not sure this will even solve that problem, but I think it may be a step to that problem.
Yeah, I agree with the R1C comment. It just doesn't, there's so many unknowns about that area with the development down 33. Troy Pike, that road has not been solved, and it needs to be solved, I think, before other developments go into that area itself. I mean, I live in Stourbridge. It's hard to turn left, but that's not really it. It's more just kind of holistically, doesn't seem, it just seems too much for right now before we, there's anything done about Troy Pike, or which is not in our purview. I understand that, but I would like to see also a new comprehensive plan, which was another thing that was pointed out by the commenters. So, before we take action on that area or other kind of, areas of concern, I guess, in the county, or in Versailles or Midway or wherever. But I do agree with the R1C comment. I mean, we do need more R1C. I'm not opposed to that at all. And I just want to, my objection is just any development there at this moment before we know what's going on with the end of 33 there at the Bluegrass Parkway. It's going to be, there's a lot of unknowns there, but
I agree with what everyone said. I do want to note that I appreciate the Vision Engineering LLC and what they have done to try to accommodate in response to the public concerns. It's not common that folks will do that, so I think that's great. and I thank you for that. But I do think it's a timing issue, and the traffic controls are a true issue. I travel that way too, so I think it's a matter of timing. It's too much at once.
Any other comments? I want to give the commissioners, anybody that wants to make a comment, the chance to talk before we take a vote on this. There being no other comments, we'll take it to a vote. All in favor of the motion to deny this application for this zoning change, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
Motion to deny.
I
Carrie?
will recuse myself.
So Reverend Green recuses. Are you abstaining from voting?
Right.
So motion carries. What was the number on that? 2 against? Okay. 5-2. Motion carries 5-2. Okay. Motion carries. That takes us to the next item of business, and that is the election of officers for 2026. And at this point, we've done it different ways in the past. Well,
Yeah, let them leave.
we've got some more business of if anyone wants to, if there's any communication, wait till you get out in the hallway. Thank you. We've done this differently, various ways in the past. I guess first and foremost, we would probably need to take nominations. I guess we'll start with Commission Chair. Are there any nominations for the office of Commission Chair at this time?
I'd like to nominate Whitney Steph.
We have a nomination for Mrs. Stepp as for the office of Commission Chair. Any other nominations? Not everybody put your hand up or say anything. Going.
You know that thing where everybody steps back?
Yes. Going once, going twice. Okay. Congratulations, Whitney.
Thank you.
And from a procedural standpoint, and I didn't know the answer coming into this. I guess do I preside over the remainder of the meeting? Is that?
It doesn't say otherwise, so yes.
Okay, unless Whitney.
My preference.
What about my preference? What about my preference?
Go ahead and get it out of here. It's the last time.
Pretty good.
Okay. The next will be the office of Vice Chair. Do we have any nominations for that office?
Would it be okay to ask if there's interest first?
Yeah, is there
Is that
interest
okay?
in?
Yes.
Okay. Is there anyone?
I would nominate Chad Wells.
Okay.
I would accept the nomination.
I would nominate this new member, this one.
Vicksburg?
I would accept that.
Any other nominations? Going once, going twice. There being none. Never had a vote like this in years past.
One more question. As chair, do I have to vote now? 'Cause now I'm chair?
Yes, I think chair always.
Yeah, the vote.
Yes, yes.
Chair votes on everything but committees.
All right.
Oh.
That's right.
And this can be handled by ballot if that's a preference.
Maybe we ought to do it that way. Yes.
You makes a ballot thing.
Real professional.
How do we say, how do we say?
This side. And this way. Usually I keep some of these ready, but
That'll work, thank
You
you.
can charge these ballots to the budget. Let's see, too expensive.
And then I guess
Chad and Karen.
we have Mr. Sharp to account for as well.
Oh,
So
that's right.
Did you bring him back in?
put it in the chat. Very good. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm back in.
Yeah.
That's thanks in Florida.
So you're voting on vice chair for either Chad or Karen Isberg. And you can type it in on the chat on Zoom.
Okay.
And then Kim, would you like to?
Oh, yeah.
I won't look.
Would it be appropriate for me to text Kim directly?
Sure.
Okay, let's do that.
Yeah, that's good.
Perfect.
Easier than him trying to catch into the system.
This is the tiebreaker.
Oh, wow.
Wonderful.
Now we know
She's
it's.
joking.
No, I'm serious. It's
Well,
four.
you shouldn't have said that then.
That's a long
Because
threshold.
no, it's no longer, it's an anonymous.
It's not anonymous.
It's Chad. Chad remains vice chair.
Congratulations.
If I have any say on getting off of a committee chair, that'd be good, but I don't know if that comes with it. But thank you nonetheless. The next office is, sorry?
I'm glad Chris rejoined.
The next office is secretary. Do we have any nominations for the office of secretary? I think the gentleman that we've had serving has done a good job for the last year.
What does the secretary do? Technically take the minutes. but
Take the
it's
minutes.
referred to the staff. So it involves the ability to defer the job.
Yes, that's in the bylaws.
Third in line to chair, I guess. I'm happy to continue doing that.
Can I nominate
You can.
I will nominate Rich Shine for the office of Secretary of the Planning Commission for 2026. Do we have any other nominations? Going once? Going twice? Congratulations, Mr. Shine, on your appointment. The next item is the committee assignments. And I'll turn it over to Mr. Hunter at this point. I know we had some conversations on this, and it's been done differently in the past. I think previously, years ago, I think the planning director maybe got together with the chair, but I think after that there was kind of an agreement that we took people's preference on what they wanted. We took that in consideration. But does anyone? I guess first of all, does anyone have any? Well, I'll turn it over to Mr.
Yeah,
Hunter.
let me just mention one thing. So what's at your seat is this year, the current committee spots, and they're last year's, or how you want to say it. It still shows, Patty Perry, and the reason it's up there and it's up on the screen is, again, we've got, Doug, you're not new, but you're fairly new, and Karen's now new. We just wanted to, real quick, show you what the different committees are. There's technically 5 committees. They're on this sheet here, and they're up on the screen. What's up on the screen is right out of the bylaws, actually. And but what's interesting is what Commissioner Wells is alluding to. What's happened in the past is, as a new member came on, they just typically took the committee spots of the member that went off. So, for example, when Ashley went off, Doug jumped into the 2 spots that, that Ashley was on. But when you look at the actual bylaws, it says we have basically 4 committees, which is an advisory committee, which generally that committee's looking at the zoning ordinance or the subregs, kind of just weighing amendments to those 2 documents and then greenlighting those to go to the floor of the planning commission. Those members then also serve on the technical review committee, and at least one of those members should attend the tech review committee. So really that's the 5th committee. And then there's a budget and personnel committee, pretty self-explanatory there. And then item C is a planning director, zoning administrator, and legal committee. That committee's never met since I've been here. And when you kind of read what it's supposed to do, it kind of overlaps a little bit with some other things. And it's really about code enforcement, which is really vested in the planning director day to day most of the time. But I guess that's a committee to go to in case we had a tricky code enforcement situation that maybe I couldn't resolve and we need to bring our legal counsel in. And then the last committee is the comprehensive plan committee. But what's interesting at the very bottom, it says that the committee members are supposed to be selected by way of the nomination the same way we just elected officers. So in theory, there's supposed to be a nomination to all these committee spots. When we look at, again, 5 committees, 3 to 4 members on each committee, that'd be a lot of nominating, picking, and choosing. And what's happened historically is that the chair just sort of puts a slate of committees together, brings it to the planning commission, you guys vote on that these are the new committee assignments. And then there's a chair of each committee, and then you guys got different duties to do. The chair of the planning commission can participate in any committee but doesn't vote. So there's a sub-chair. So for example, Rich is the chair of the budget and personnel. So if there's a budget and personnel, I typically would call him and say, hey, we need to have a meeting. Does this work? Does this date work? And then those you are on the committee would attend. Other planning commissioners can attend as well as the chair, but if we get over that 5 number, we technically got a quorum and we have to notice a little different. So it also mentioned in the bylaws about a technical review committee. It's interesting, the 4 committees are in Article 4, and then tech review committee is back in Article 7. And then the tech review committee says what they're supposed to do and who's on it. It's unclear really who votes on the tech review committee. We've been struggling with that a little bit. And really the planning commissioners are supposed to sort of run this committee with other ex officios agency folks as we look at plats and site plans before they come to you. There's 18 people, I believe, on the tech review. I believe Kim's email goes out to 31 people. And there's been months where there's no planning commissioners on the tech review Zoom call. So this may be something we need to do some housekeeping on, and the city's asked us to maybe refine this a tad bit. So what I would suggest is maybe you guys take this committee list home, and maybe we try to work this out next month, and you guys think about what committees you want to be on, and maybe relate those to the chair. But at the same time, we might want to work on these bylaws slightly, and maybe bring these committees all into the same chapter and just make them 5 standalone committees instead of having those on advisor are also on tech review. And tech review is probably the heaviest lifting committee because it meets every single month. And it meets earlier in the day. It's by Zoom, but some of y'all have jobs. And the other committees kind of meet in cycles. Budget's going to be happening now the next couple months. Comp plan's going to happen a bunch here the next few months. Advisory committees just sort of hit or miss. So not sure how to put all these committee jobs together, but with the new chair, Whitney served on couple committees. She now has to come off of those as she becomes chair of the planning commission. Another thing that was mentioned is that chair of the planning commission can participate but doesn't vote, but it's been brought up when we have committee meetings where there's 4. It'd be interesting if we needed a tiebreaker that the chair could break a tie, let's say, if they participate. Another way to handle this is, I'm not sure why we got 4 members on all the committees when you only need 3. And if you just stuck with 3 members of the committee, you'd never have a tie situation, I guess. But if you remember in the advisory committee, those that serve on it, we had some tie votes here recently, which was interesting. So that's all I would say about the committees. You all decide who's on them and who chairs it and what's your interest. Some of you may want to be on the comp plan committee. That's what you're interested in. Others may be interested in these technical documents, tech review, advisory. And budget and personnel is just as it sounds. I'll let you jump in there.
So there's nothing in the comprehensive plan or our bylaws that mandates how we do this?
No.
So I don't say this is the first time in 16 years it's actually been transparent at all.
Yeah. And Henry's been reading these for me, and we pointed out that they're supposed to be nominated as opposed to just here's the list. And so not sure how we nominate. You think about 5 committees, That's 15 positions there. How we just did that.
We could nominate a slate, but the commission also has to vote for the chairs of the committees. The committees do not get to vote for their own chairs.
That's right.
So I have a kind of proposal I wanted to put out there, and you can tell me it's stupid or not. Because one of the things that I'm impressed with this group is that no matter what goes on in the committee conversation comes back to this table.
Yep.
And there's always, there may be ties, but I've seen times when that ties change just by the conversation we have. We're small enough to get along and do that. I'm also inclined to think that the role of chair of the planning commission ought to be to shape the planning commission. I think Patty did that in a really strong way. I think one of the things she was really good at was visible in the room tonight. She made transparency her kind of mantra and made sure that we advertised better, we got the word out, we got more public involvement. And I think that Whitney ought to be able to have that role as well, to shape the commission in some ways how she wants to do it. So this is one way of getting to do the work.
Yeah.
I would be perfectly happy if we all just submitted our own personal preferences with the rationale
To the chair.
and to let the chair propose a slate, which could then be flexible or malleable in a conversation we have later. It saves all this nomination and voting and all that kind of stuff.
Henry and I have both been in prior commission where the bylaws, this authority rests with the chair. That the chair sets the committee assignments and then just does some back and forth with the members to make sure they're all in the right committee, but it's not a formal nomination process. The committee chair just comes in and says, here's the committee assignments unless someone's got a problem with it, type of thing. And that may be what we could modify in the bylaws, as well as maybe give the chair the ability to.
Let's try it once first.
Yeah. Yeah.
Before we modify the bylaws. No. You okay with that?
And let me just mention again on the tech review committee, because this hasn't come to your all's attention, but if you look at that, again, their job is to look at site plans, preliminary subdivision plans, and the city staff has questioned why we need to have construction plans go to tech review when they do a pre-construction conference on those same plans. So that would be, do we need item C? It's something we need to work out with them. But the members of the advisory committee are on it, and then the planning director, and when we had an engineer or now engineer consultant, we're ex officio, so we don't vote. So, but most meetings, there's kind of a motion to forward this. I don't vote, the engineer doesn't vote, and if the city engineer doesn't vote, I'm not sure then the next item E, it's technical folks with the city, public works directors, you would think they wouldn't be voting, and the health department's on there. Then there's all these other people, Columbia Gas, Spectrum, KU. It seems like the planning commissioner should be the one saying, yeah, we're ready to move that forward. So it should be full of technical people to advise us on plats, but the vote to move it from the committee to the Florida Planning Commission should be vested in those planning commissioners, I would think. But it's unclear who really is supposed to vote. If you look at this paragraph, there's nothing about voting, there's nothing about quorums, there's nothing. We had a tech review recently where there were no planning commissioners on the tech review. And someone on the tech review pointed out, how y'all voting if there's no planning commissioners on there? And so we need to clean this up if we can and make it real clear how the tech review processes these items to the floor of the planning commission. And then who's a voting member and then what their duties are.
Well, in the tech community, as you say, they meet, 10 o'clock in the morning on Thursday mornings?
Thursday morning, the fourth Thursday of every month.
Yeah.
By Zoom. There's a lot of people on that. Again, I think the email goes out
I've come
to
down time to
30 people.
Kim when they had to, but it's tough for a lot of us guys. So, but
well, I mean, we could change that time if that's what the planning commissioners need. I mean, that's one of the things we have to housekeep to accommodate the planning commissioners that need to participate. We can do that, but that's the committee that meets every single month.
Right.
And on a heavy month, we got 5-6 plats. You all got quite a bit to look at.
Right.
Without reinventing the wheel, if you're aware of any best practices that we're not following in the planning commissions in general?
No, we don't. We haven't dug into it to that level.
Okay, just curious. Just on experience, really.
But the advisory committee members, you guys, that's double duty right there, right? If you're on the advisory, you get this committee too.
Mm-hmm.
And Chris is on it, and I believe Randall, you're on it, Tim's on it, and Doug.
I can never make the.
Oh yeah, I understand.
I'd like to be off the chair anyway. Let somebody else take over.
Yeah, and those are the type of things you have to work through the chair. But maybe we just get this slate together, like Richard suggested, and we'll bring you guys a new committee list back.
Do they do all their meetings Zoom? So they're all done Zoom?
That's because there's so many people
I
from
guess so.
all over the place.
Just the technical review, that started when
COVID, yeah, I know, my thing started.
So are you
COVID.
recommending that we have a fifth committee?
Well, we really do have a fifth committee, but it just gets, but the way the wording is, it just goes to the advisory committee.
Yeah.
If we clean some of this up, we might as well just move this committee up with the other 4 in the bylaws. And there's 5 committees, and everyone decide of these 5 committees which one you want to serve on. And again, the bylaws say we only have to have 3 members on the committee, but historically we put 4 members on for whatever reason. It says at least 3, so I guess in theory it can be more.
So in terms of workload this year, I mean, the comprehensive plan committee obviously has
We got some work to do,
roots to pull up.
and it's budget time.
Yeah.
By the time, and also, you know, not to call you out, but we're still having that conversation about how long you're gonna stick around, so we may be looking at hiring a new person.
We were having that?
Yeah, well, it's, it was under the table.
It was?
Not more.
It
Yeah.
was a 2-year contract.
2-year contract.
2-year contract ended a year ago, yeah.
Yeah, Rich is right, you know.
I'll call my agent here and we'll, yeah, so there's a lot of work to do. But we'll just, again, the idea is bring it back to y'all next month if you guys are, and I'll work with the chair then on that.
And on that note, an email to you and Whitney with regard to anybody has preferences on what committees
Sure.
they want to be on.
Sure.
Or not to be on.
Yeah.
Okay.
And technical review will be a new committee.
We'll break it out as 5
break it
separate
out as a
committees. So
separate-
you guys could choose to be on it and not be on advisory.
Seems interesting, it's just, yeah, the meeting time is
It's right in the middle.
early.
We'll defer to
Yeah.
you all, because you guys are the planning
Because
commission.
it's sort of a firewall before they come here,
Yep.
so that all that stuff is taken care
You
of
guys
before we.
make sure they're
yeah.
where they need to be and they're ready to come here.
Yeah.
And as Kim mentioned, we already got some plats ready for next month, already filed, so there's work pretty much every month on advisory, or technical review, I'm sorry. Well, that's okay, we'll just
Yeah, so that takes care of that item. The next item, the bill pay list from January in the packet. Everybody have a chance to look at that? And moving right along, the budget financial report is in the packet. Any questions on those 2 items? I'll lump those together.
I'd like to make a comment on the bill pay list. I think moving forward, we probably need to make a motion to accept this officially.
We haven't done that in the past, have we?
To accept the bill paid, make it legal. I mean,
Well, actually, you'd be voting to authorize the bills to be
authorize it,
paid.
exactly, authorize it, yes.
Oh, to pay.
That's the yellow one.
The yellow.
Just keeps everybody straight.
Move that we pay the bills.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. The next item is the construction surety report. Looks like one's been reduced. Mr. Hunter?
The finance report is on.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, well, I kind of lumped that together. Yes,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sorry. The budget finance report, sorry. Those were in the packet. I did mention that, but then I'd lumped them together. But as far as the finance budget report through December, anybody have any questions on that item? Everybody should have that in the packet.
We may have a budget amendment ready for next month. Now that the audit's final, if you noticed, our carryover balance from the audit is slightly different than our budgeted amount. And we got a couple housekeeping items to make in the budget for this fiscal year, so we may have a budget amendment ready for you next month. And you'll see it reflected on this. Yeah, that's just for your information. The surety item does need action since it's been revised.
The next item is the surety item, the surety for us all that was reduced, all homes.
It's the year 2 letter of credit. The letter credits are in 1-year increments. It times out on January 22nd. And the original letter of credit was $560,000. They've done a lot of work out there in Paynes Crossing Unit 1, Phase 2. And the new letter of credit that just arrived in our office reduces down to $348,047. So we'd want to accept that year 2 letter of credit formally And then next year, they can do a letter of credit one more time, then it has to be a cash bond after that. But they'll probably, what's left in this bond is mostly sidewalks, final surface, and final details in the subdivision, street lights, et cetera.
So this is different. This number is not.
Yeah, because this is where we were
Okay, this is where we're going.
before the meeting.
Okay.
Tonight, if you accept this one, it'll go in there and they'll substitute. So yeah, we need to take action on that to accept that year 2 letter of credit.
And this is reducing from the 568.51 to 047. Any questions of Mr. Hunter or any comments? Anybody ready to take action to accept this letter of credit for year 2?
Make a motion to accept the letter of credit immediately.
We have a second. Any discussion? All in favor of accepting this letter of credit, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. We'll remember to. Okay, that is, the last one is announcements. Do you have anything on that? Anybody want to entertain a motion to adjourn? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries.
Tonight you need to sign, right?
Yeah, and I think.
I'm not on the.
Yeah.